Fiji, an archipelago located in the Pacific Ocean. Of its more than 300 islands, only about 100 are inhabited. In these parts, life rolls along to the lazy rhythm of the long ocean swell. There are three colors to the Fijis: the white of the long beaches, the turquoise blue of the lagoons, and the green of the jungle. And rugby is a religion. Frank, a rugby coach, chose to combine the easy life of the islands with his passion for the oval ball. He combs the villages of the outlying islands, hoping to discover the rare gem of Fijian rugby. Hannah is a surfing champion. She and her friend Issei are in search of the perfect wave. Their quest will take them all the way to Cloudway, one of the most beautiful waves in the world. For Hannah, the ocean is her lifeblood. Manasa lives in Benga, an unspoiled atoll where the traditional rituals form the bedrock of the community. In the shelter of the barrier reef, just a stone's throw from the village, Manasa goes diving with his son Tumbi to feed their guardian angels, the shark gods.
I live in a very little paradise, you know. I don't want to stay in overseas, Australia, America, maybe France or Europe. I like my little world. It looks like this. No big, no small. I live this in my heart.
The Fiji Islands, located in the heart of the Pacific Ocean, are isolated from the rest of the world. Situated 2,000 kilometers north of New Zealand and about 3,000 kilometers east of Australia, these volcanic islands are made up of mountains covered with tropical forest. It's a corner of the world where time has never mattered, perhaps because the weather is so clement all year round.
Before Christianity, many people in Fiji believe that they need a guardian. And we're supposed to have a guardian. That is before Christianity. So many people in Fiji, they choose different types of nature. They choose nature, like a little mountain, ocean, moon, sun. But the people from my village, they choose sharks to be their sea god. So the story goes like that. We believe that the sharks in the oceans, those are our guardian. As soon as we jump in the water, we don't have any fear because the same guardian is looking after us. You know, ocean, they rule the ocean, right? Sharks rules the ocean. They balance the ocean. Okay, when we jump in the water to meet them, we respect them.
Manasa Bulivu has been diving under the protection of his shark gods every day for the last 15 years. These turquoise waters were part of his childhood, and his first dive was a revelation. Ever since, he has been doing his best to preserve this underwater realm and protect the coral barrier reef. weekend, Manasa takes his family to the island of Benga, where he was born, across from the main island. The ferry does a daily run and takes 2 hours to make the crossing. Everyone on the boat knows Manasa. They even call him Papa. He holds a very important position in his community. He is the village spokesman. Rukua is a little village like so many others in the Fijis. A few houses by the lagoon, coconut trees, no roads, no stores, and villagers enjoying the good life.
That is my village. This is where I was raised. This is from my ancestor, my great-grandfather. And until today, I have a family, and this is my home. My son, my daughter, they all born in this village. I found my beautiful wife in this village, so I don't have to go away. Everything is right there, and the ocean behind me, that is our resources. And we respect the animal in the ocean because we believe that we are one. So it is like a freedom paradise. This is nobody want to live. We want to stay here forever. Yes. I have a little bit of heart problem. In 2007, I was in hospital, and since then, my whole life changed. It's changed completely. Yeah. I choose the way to be a very honest Christian, to worship the mighty God. And I'm very proud to be a preacher and look after a church.
The word of God. The everlasting life is only given by the Master himself. Hallelujah. By God himself. By the Lord Jesus himself. No one can give this life. It's only him himself.
In the Fiji Islands, Sunday is a day devoted to prayer. Several families have come by boat from the island's other villages to attend Manasa's services. Afterwards, the parishioners stay to share a meal together.
It's the traditional ways, like to share. Like Fiji, the standard of living is low. So most of the family that doesn't have like a source of income. So that's why we share. The more we give, the more we get.
This morning, they're preparing for a traditional ceremony in the forest. The young men of this island have a special gift, walking barefoot over burning stones, the fire walk. Tunbi, Manasa's son, is going to participate for the first time.
Long time waiting.
I've been waiting for a long
26 years
time.
now. Yeah.
26 years now. I moved to the mainland when I was small. Just a small boy.
Now today I'm here.
Now today I'm here to do the firewalk.
Then I'm gonna do the firework today. Yeah.
It's good. I'm very
excited
excited about this.
must present himself before the sacred fire with a pure heart, and for that there are a few rules to respect.
He's been very honest with a promise. No coconut for 4 nights and no woman for 4 nights. It's really tough for the young people. No woman for 4 nights. Yeah, I told the priest, I think 2 nights is okay. But the priest said, 4 nights.
The stones have been heating in the fire pit for 5 hours. The ceremony can begin. The men are totally concentrated. They're invoking the spirits and asking them for the ancestral power that only the village inhabitants possess.
We walked on fire.
Yeah.
No pain.
Yeah, no
Feel
pain.
cold.
The stones felt cold.
It's okay.
It's the power of the fire walk. We gather it here, and we use it to walk over the stones.
On the island of Benga, legends and the supernatural encroach on reality. Manasa is proud of his son who has braved the sacred fire and stones for the first time. Tumbi loves diving just as much as his father. Today, like every day, they're going to see their second family, the sharks.
So I'm just about to get ready to introduce myself to the underwater world. Most of the animals, they know me very well the last 15 years. So still I have to use this. They know Papa very well. I feel great because when I put my wetsuit on, my fins, my mask, with a tank behind me, to enter that world down there, it's something that's in my heart. I know, because in the underwater world, there is my guardian there. He looks after myself, my son. The life is very different down there because you see the fish, they don't know anything about, the war, about what is going on up here. They're very friendly, so I want to put myself just like them.
Since he had his heart attack, Manasa doesn't dive more than a few meters down. Tunbi has taken over from his father. He has a rendezvous in the depths with other sharks, the bulldogs. Manasa shares his life between these two worlds. On land, he's actively involved in the community of Rukua. He's one of the pillars of the village. In the depths, he's the privileged witness and guardian of an underwater realm. Manasa knows that these two worlds are inextricably linked and complementary.
We want to keep this bay and this place as it is. As you can see, there is no building, no cars, no boat, just us. And we want to keep the population of my village as low as we are. Yeah? In another 10, 15 years' time, I believe in my heart, this place will be still the same. And then we will pass it over to our generation to come when I will be old. My grandchildren, you go there and use the land.
There's waves, but it's trying. I think it's probably high tide, and the swell is probably not big enough.
Hannah Bennett and Issei Tukovu are two of the best surfers in the Fijis. They spend days on end in search of the best waves.
It's good to, envision yourself before you're out surfing, and hopefully it'll be some fun waves. So, yeah, concentrate, but surfing is fun. Not too serious. It's for fun. Yep. So there's my wax. check my fins, make sure they're on tight.
Hannah, who's 22 years old, is a surfing champion. She competes under the Fijian flag in international meets, and she recently won the Melanesian Cup, a meet open to the best surfers of this part of the Pacific Ocean.
It takes one wave to fall in love with surfing, but it also takes one wave to just completely not want to do it again. But when you fall in love with it, it's so worth it. It's, words can't really describe it. You forget about the paddling, how hard it is. You forget about, almost drowning sometimes just for that feeling, because it's very in the moment, and it's very intimate with the ocean, with nature.
Hannah grew up in Rotuma, a remote group of islands in the northern Fijis. Her life goes from one side of the Pacific to the other, from California, where she's finishing up a degree in international trade, to Fiji, where she has her roots and comes to recharge her batteries.
Earth is the water planet. It's everything, it's all around us, it's in us. Physically, you can't live without water, but also mentally, I don't think I could live without being surrounded by the ocean. As a person, I need water. I need the ocean to mentally be healthy and stay sane in a way. I could never live in the desert or inland or in cities for years at a time. Wherever I go, it's always based off of where the ocean is going to be.
To set sail on the high seas, an adventure that has always inspired humanity. Ever since the dawn of time, the most daring souls have challenged the horizon in search of new lands.
Set, right, go. Go up. Jet. Too much fuel. Ole. Hard over starboard.
It's generally thought that migration to the islands of the Pacific proceeded gradually, starting in southern China. The men and women who would discover the largest ocean on Earth first made a sojourn for several generations in Taiwan. Their most intrepid descendants pressed onward to what is now the Philippines and Indonesia. Sailing from island to island, those adventurers explored the Pacific in the hope of conquering unknown lands. Those mariners opened new routes towards virgin territory. Once they had settled Vanuatu, they were within 800 kilometers of the Fiji Islands. The Fijian people had their distant roots in a group of exceptional seafarers. In 2011, a German philanthropist decided to revive that epic journey in his own way. He built several traditional sailing canoes, one to take a sea odyssey across the Pacific to California. Hannah followed the expedition very closely. She was even a crew member when this boat first took to sea off the coast of Fiji. Angelo, a skilled sailor, quite naturally became skipper of this mythical craft, the Uto Niyalo, part of the spirit.
Dion, select this one. Fast. There were 7 canoes like this, all the same, different islands, like Samoa, Tahiti had 1, New Zealand had 2. So we sailed as a fleet, just raising awareness and trying to prove that what our ancestors did, we can still do it. You know, we proved that we don't need fuel to travel so far, and we did it, you know. The voyage was 20 months in total. Days in sea, the longest we were out there was 31. No land, no TV, nothing, yeah. Just looking at a lot of flying fish, and that's pretty much it.
These latter-day seafarers accomplished the entire crossing without the help of any navigational instruments, just like their ancestors. No charts, no GPS, no sextant. The sailors on board were armed with no more than their daring, their keen intuition, and the stars to guide them across these vast expanses.
That knowledge is being lost now. Only a handful of people, they know it. So one guy in Satawal, in Micronesia, he taught 5 people. His wish was for that 5 to teach more. So we were lucky we had 3 of the 5 on the voyage.
Yeah, that was a big part of people's lives back then, you know, our ancestors, this is what they did. And to see it, you know, unfold and people try to practice it the same way is a beautiful thing. It's reviving our culture again, and it's reminding the next generations of who we are.
Every time Hannah comes back to the Fijis to train, she connects with Ize. He's like a big brother, but he's also an exceptional surfer who knows these islands better than anyone else. To get out to the open sea and the rollers, Hannah and Ize have to cross a vast mangrove swamp, a sort of natural passage from the world of land dwellers to the realm of the surfers. Cloudbreak is one of the most beautiful waves in the world. It's like an El Dorado for surfers. Every year, the world's surfing elite comes here for a prestigious international meet. The jury officiates from a stand built right in the sea facing the legendary wave.
For me, the perfect wave is a feeling. That's very hard, I think, when you're surfing. It's very in the moment and it goes by so fast sometimes you don't appreciate, or you can only reflect on it after you've surfed the wave. But for me, the perfect wave is being able to actually recognize that feeling as you're surfing the wave. So a nice, long, you know, good sized wave that as you're surfing it, you're aware of how good the feeling is, you know.
Yeah. Nice, babe. Woo! It's very easy to shoot waves in Fiji. The waves are so nice here. The light is perfect. Water is blue. You don't have to be a very good photographer to take great photos here. It's really easy. Look at this place. It's beautiful all by itself.
Surfers form their own tight-knit community, and Stuart is a well-known figure at Cloudbreak.
Beautiful. Come have a look at your shots. So many sick ones. Look at this shot. You're gonna freak out. This is like a magazine cover. Check this out.
Oh, wow.
these waves have traveled for thousands of miles from a storm here off Antarctica, all across the ocean, and you wait for them. And then you ride their energy, and you can feel the whole energy of the ocean go through your body, and you forget every worry of the world. You can't pay for that. There's no drug, there's no therapy you can do that is better than surfing. It's like being hugged by the entire ocean. It's a really great feeling.
Surfers don't pit themselves against the ocean and the waves. They strive to become their accomplices and play with the elements in order to reach a state of pure pleasure. Become one with the forces of nature, a challenge that one throws down only to oneself.
You feel very vulnerable, but very powerful at the same time. You know, sometimes I'm the biggest scaredy cat out there. I'm terrified, but that's when I feel most alive. The ocean is like my second home. You know, we're brought up around the ocean and nature, and you learn to adapt a lot to your surroundings, and that's a great skill to have. This is where I was born and raised, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is my home base. I mean, everywhere I go, it's almost as if it makes me appreciate Fiji even more, and it makes it just as special.
J'avais une famille de marins.
There were a lot of sailors in my family. My great uncles,
beaucoup dans la
my
région
uncles,
du Pacifique Sud
they
et
sailed the
ramenaient
South
beaucoup de
Pacific
choses.
a lot,
Et donc
and they
nous
brought
faisaient
back a
rêver
lot of
quand
souvenirs that would just
rentraient
stir our
de ces voyages.
imagination.
Et notamment, on avait
And
un
in
livre
particular,
avec mon
when we
frère
were
sur
little, my
Tahiti,
brother and
la
I had a
Polynésie.
book on Tahiti
Et
and
quand on était
Polynesia,
petit garçon, il y
with
avait
a picture of an
il y avait
island girl
l'image
on the
d'une
beach,
vainée seins nus sur
and
une
she was
plage.
bare-breasted.
Et c'était
It
vraiment
was
très
really
attirant et
quite
très...
alluring. That's
Et
what
c'est ce
set
qui
me
m'a
to
fait
dreaming
toujours
about the
rêver
South
du
Pacific
Pacifique au
ever
Sud.
since.
C'est un peu un
It's a
cliché,
bit of
mais
a cliché,
c'est
but
la
it's the
vérité.
honest truth.
Frank Boisvert is heading for Bukama, a village in the Yasawa Islands isolated in the northwest of the Fijis. Frank has been an international rugby trainer for more than 40 years. Whenever he can, he goes from island to island meeting the village rugby clubs. He's also out to spot the young talents that may someday play in the world's leading clubs. Fiji is a major rugby power in the Pacific. And in fact, if it weren't for its international reputation in this sport, the archipelago would be completely forgotten. Frank has been living in the Fijis for 17 years, but this is the first time he's come to train the players of Bukama. Still, everyone knows him because he worked with the National Rugby Sevens team here.
Fiji is the furthest island here. It's Sawa, and that's the furthest village there, Sawirara.
Chaque fois, c'est une découverte, mais surtout,
It's a new adventure each time.
c'est la notion du
But more
partage. Ils
important,
aiment beaucoup partager
there's the
leur
notion of
vécu,
sharing.
leur
They
histoire,
really like to
etc.
share their
Et ça fait
experience,
partie
their history.
de l'enseignement de
That's
rugby,
part
ça.
of how they
Parce que
teach the
le
sport
rugby
here.
à Fidji, ça colle
Because the
beaucoup
rugby in
à
Fiji
la culture
really meshes
et à
quite
leur
well with their
tradition
culture
et
and
aussi
traditions.
à leur histoire de guerre
And
entre
also with their
villages.
history of
Et
warring
maintenant, ils ne se
between
font plus la
villages.
guerre, mais le village de
Now
là-bas,
they don't make
ils
war
viennent tous les
anymore,
samedis,
but the
jouer
village over
ici
there
avec l'autre
comes every
village,
Saturday
etc. Et
to
donc
play
ils
that village
reproduisent un
down
peu
there. So in a way, they're carrying on their
ces
warrior rituals
rituels
of the
guerriers
past.
du passé. Voilà.
In Fijian rugby, the clan spirit is an essential element. Each match begins with the thingdi, a warrior dance designed to provoke and intimidate the adversary. Rugby is a combat sport, and in the Fijis, the warrior enjoys a privileged social status, even more so than a school teacher or a doctor.
Si le bon Dieu a
If
inventé le
God
rugby, il l'a
invented
inventé
rugby,
pour les
He
Fidjiens.
surely invented
Notamment le
it for
rugby
the
à 7.
Fijians,
Il y a
and in particular,
pas-
sevens rugby.
il y a
No doubt
aucune
about it.
question là-dessus.
And I think
Et je
that's
crois que
just
le
what
bon Dieu,
God
c'est ce qu'il a
did.
fait. Il a inventé le
He invented rugby for the
rugby pour les
Fijians,
Fidjiens,
the
pour les
Tongans,
Tongiens, pour les
and the
Samoans. Et non, mais
Samoans.
sérieusement,
Seriously,
c'est une
it's a
bénédiction
blessing for
pour
these
ces pays-là,
countries because it
parce
can
que ça arrive
channel
à
all the energy
canaliser
of
toutes
the
les
youth
énergies de la
and the
jeunesse
warrior
et l'esprit
spirit that
guerrier
goes
qui va
with it to
avec
defend their village,
pour
to defend
défendre
their
le
island.
village, pour défendre l'île.
It's essential, so we have
C'est
to use
crucial.
that.
Donc il faut jouer effectivement là-dessus.
The coach is waiting in the village. Something we don't know, we learn from him. And the first time too, we see Frank. We just hear his name on the radio, see on the TV. First time to see him.
Bring them up. Yeah. And you do it. C'est des poteaux écologiques. On
Organic
respecte
goalposts.
l'environnement. On se sert
Respect
juste des
for the
ressources
environment.
qu'il y a autour de nous pour
We use what we have at
construire les
hand to
poteaux.
construct the goalposts.
C'est le rugby authentique, quoi.
This
C'est
is
comme ça qu'on
genuine
faisait aussi quand
rugby,
on était petit
like
dans
we
les
used to
villages
play as kids in the villages of
du sud de
southern
la France,
France,
là,
in
soit en Catalogne,
Catalonia,
en Occitanie.
and in
Et on
Occitania.
faisait des choses à
We
peu
used to
près
do things
similaires.
like
Donc pour
this,
moi,
so
c'est
for
un
me,
peu un
this
retour
is
aux
like going
sources.
back to my roots.
Voilà.
There are some 200 Fijians playing in different French rugby clubs, and the demand keeps rising for these rugby artists with their singular style, a mixture of power and improvisation.
J'ai eu la chance de trouver quelques
I've had the good
joueurs
fortune to discover
à
players
l'état
in their
brut. Je donne
unpolished
souvent cet
state.
exemple.
I
J'avais
often
ces deux
cite the
joueurs
example
et
of
quand
two
j'ai été les
players I
chercher dans leur
recruited
village,
right from the
pratiquement
village.
ils étaient
They
pieds
were
nus,
practically
avec
barefoot,
juste un t-shirt.
with just a t-shirt, and they were
Ils faisaient
fish
de la
farms to
culture
help their
vivrière
parents support the
pour aider leurs
family.
parents. Et quoi,
And 6 to
6,
9
9
months
mois
later,
après,
there
je
I
les
am
vois
at
au
the
Stade de
National
France, en
Stadium
finale
in
du championnat
France,
du top 14,
watching them play in the
devant
finals of the
80
top
000
14 in
personnes.
front of
Ouf.
80,000 people. A thrilling
énorme.
moment.
C'est
Just
fantastique.
fantastic.
Being a rugby trainer in the Fijis means dealing with the oppressive heat and the slow rhythm that goes along with it. For the moment, there are only children in Bukama. No sign of any players yet.
I think we're going to be running on Fiji time, meaning practice will begin around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Maybe. Time is a vague notion on the island because no one has a watch. There is no time. So we'll just wait and see. A good coach should always arrive before his players. That's not very hard here.
Hola, Charlie. How are you? How was work?
Good.
Yeah? Your teammates, they're gonna come soon?
Yeah, soon.
Yeah? All right. Take the coconuts and we're gonna go in that part of the field, for now, all right? It's, this part of the field is better. Okay, let's go. Oh, yeah. When you do the group game, then I blow whistle. Oh, then you go long passes. Ready, go! Get out of the way, guys. A time inside shoulder, good. Well done. Ready, go! Bon, là, ils n'ont pas l'habitude de
They're not
s'entraîner.
used to
Ils n'ont
training.
pas l'habitude d'avoir
They're
une
not used to
rigueur
having
au niveau de
strict
l'entraînement.
practice sessions,
Ils n'ont pas
not used to
l'habitude
organized drills.
d'avoir des
So you
exercices
have to
bien
break them into
organisés,
the
etc.
routine.
Donc il faut qu'ils s'habituent au protocole et tout.
But once
Mais
you
après
do,
ça, une fois
they
qu'ils ont
take
eu
the
le
ball and
protocole,
run
hop,
with it.
c'est parti, ça joue bien. Straighten up! Good! Very good! All right! Et il suffit de leur donner
You
un
just
peu de
have to give them
direction,
a few
c'est tout.
pointers.
Voilà, de donner un
Put
peu
a
de
little
sens
order
au
into
jeu.
their game.
Une fois qu'il y a du
And
sens au
once
jeu,
that's done,
ils sauront
they
quoi
know how
faire.
to do the rest.
Good! All right. Pass. 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 Put it down. Run away. Reline. Good. All right. Go. On joue pour rigoler, pour
They play
s'amuser,
for
pour se
fun,
détendre.
to
Et
relax,
c'est une force parce
which
que
is a
pour moi,
strong
pour
point
réussir
because I
dans le
think you
sport,
need a
il
playful
faut qu'il y ait
dynamic to do well
une
in
dynamique
sports.
ludique. Il faut vraiment s'amuser,
You really have
prendre
to
du
have
plaisir.
fun,
Et quand on
enjoy
prend
it.
ce plaisir, après
And
ça,
all the
tout
rest
vient.
will flow
Et
naturally.
oui, c'est ça
The
qui est
really
très
nice thing
agréable.
about
La
these
base du jeu
Islanders is
ici,
that their
c'est avant
basic
tout
motivation is the
le
joy of
plaisir de
playing.
jouer. Good! Place the ball! Go!
Thanks to his reputation, Frank is respected by everyone here.
Come on.
Today, he's training future players, but Fijian trainers as well. He has also set up a prisoner rehabilitation program. Frank is teaching them the profession of referee.
Je crois que le rugby est comme un régulateur
rugby
social.
is a social
On voit dans des pays
regulator.
comme où il n'y a
You'll
pas
notice
autant de
that in
rugby,
countries where there's not as
d'accord,
much
où il y a
rugby,
le taux de
the
criminalité
crime
est
rate's
extrêmement
extremely
élevé.
high.
Mais ici à
But
Fidji,
not here in the
j'ai vu
Fijis.
la même chose à Tonga et
And I
Samoa.
noticed the same thing in
Non, tous
Tonga
les jeunes
and Samoa.
jouent au rugby.
All
À
the
4
young
heures de
people play
l'après-midi,
rugby.
on sort de l'école, on arrête
At
le
4 o'clock
travail,
in
on
the
revient des
afternoon,
champs,
they get out of
on
school,
joue au rugby.
they get off
Et
work,
bien sûr, quand on a
they
fini
come
le
in
match de
from the
rugby,
fields
on
and
a
they
pu
play rugby.
laisser aller toutes nos
And when
hormones
the match is
d'agressivité,
finished,
on est
and they've
vidé,
gotten rid
etc.
of all their
On n'a
aggressive
plus
hormones,
envie,
they're
les
worn
jeunes
out,
n'ont plus envie
with
d'aller
no
faire
energy left to
des
go out and get
couillonnades
themselves into trouble.
ailleurs. All right. Crouch. Bind. Set. Good. All right. Look at that. Beautiful there. Yes. All right.
Lucina,
roads to speak of here, so people get around with the village's one motorized pirogue. In the Yasawa Islands, they even bus the children to school by boat. In Bukama's village school, there are 3 levels in each class, and the children learn English right from the first grade. English and rugby, both legacies of the British colonization. At recess, Frank organizes a rugby match. It's France versus Fiji.
All right. Hey, so you score a try over there? Got it? And you guys score a try over there? Right?
Yes.
So you must pass the ball to one girl?
Yes.
All right, and we must have 3 passes. Oh, that's a nice pass! Keep going! Hey! Okay, knock up! Ball to Frank! Here we go, here we go.
The women of Fiji are struggling to free themselves from the weight of tradition. And Frank is convinced that sports are one of the best ways they have to achieve that goal. Promoting women's rugby has been a personal crusade of Frank for 30 years. He's convinced that playing rugby in school will bring about a change in people's attitudes.
Come on, guys! Naka, eh? That was fun, eh?
Yeah.
All right. You like rugby, yeah?
Yeah.
That's very good, and you're going to be a very good player. Yeah, you're going to be a very good player. All of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Maintenant, le rugby
Women's rugby is really taking off now. And here in Fiji, we have the Fijianas.
Maybe you can play for Fijiana,
Yeah.
qui est l'équipe nationale.
The national team who beat New Zealand back in October and were world champions in sevens rugby. So they have enormous potential, which we'll have to nurture in order to take on the really big teams.
Okay, let's have a cheer. Let's go. Okay.
Frank continues his voyage on to the next island, on to the next rugby pitch. As a trainer, Frank has always sought to transmit his passion and love for this sport.
It's very important to me that the Fijian trainers and coaches be competent so that they can carry on the work themselves and not depend on the know-how of us Westerners. As the saying goes, it's more important to teach a person to fish rather than fish for them. That has been the guiding philosophy in my work here. I always try to stand back a bit and help them to grow and develop.
For Frank, rugby in the Fijis is a lovely romance between a game imported from the other side of the planet and a people born to play it.